What is going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys all so much for tuning back in, and let's get right into it. So today, obviously, if you guys could tell from looking at the charts here, the Nasdaq was very choppy today. And every time I say the market is choppy, what I mean by that is just that the market didn't have a pretty good and clear choice of direction today. It was very kind of floppy everywhere. Besides kind of these few potential nice little moves on the day, throughout the majority of the day, it was really just fluctuating, trying to change directions pretty quickly. And yeah, I'm gonna walk through that with you guys. But in terms of how I did on the day, you guys could tell from looking at the thumbnail, it was a red day, unfortunately. I was down $49 on SQs and I was down $12 on TQs. So it definitely was a managed risk. I wanted to make sure I didn't give back a lot today because yesterday I was able to have a nice little day. So yeah, I'm very happy with how I managed my risk. And as far as my orders, I had 88 filled orders. And yeah, here they all are. I only traded SQs and TQs on the day like usual. And I'll go through all of them with you, right? So here they are from the bottom to the top, and if you guys want, you guys can go through every single one individually, but I'm going to walk through kind of the overall play because it is a lot of fills, unfortunately, so it's going to look too messy if I try and pull them up kind of on each actual ETF, right? I'll show you how in a sec. But basically, if I were to try to pull up my actual trades right now, because there's so many of them, it really just isn't going to look the best, right? I can give you an example in a second if it will load. And there you go. It's kind of all over the place, and yeah, that's why I'm going to explain it to you guys just from looking at the Nasdaq. So TQQQ and SQQQ are what I always trade every day, and they act in direct correlation of what the Nasdaq does. So TQQQ goes up when the Nasdaq goes up, and SQQQ goes up when the Nasdaq starts to fall. Right, so SQQQ will act in direct opposite of anything the Nasdaq does. Just a little heads up there for you guys if you didn't know that already. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Right around here was when the market opened up, and we did get a nice surge upwards immediately. And I didn't want to take a trade. I held off a bit just because the first few minutes after the market opens up, it usually tends to be very choppy as well. So I just wanted to do my part holding off today. But it was a nice strong move all the way to near the top VWAP, and then right after that it had a quick change of direction and ultimately started having these aggressive red candles, right? And once it fell below the EMA line, it did try and pop here. That's why there's this green candle, but ultimately it didn't want to push back above it, right? It was trying to act as a resistance now, and it just kept falling. So here were the big kind of main areas right around this level here where you see my mouse is. These were the kind of lows of the area that the Nasdaq traded today, and here were kind of the highs, right? And the market started to get a lot of times very indecisive, right? There'd be a lot of green candles followed by big red candles. So that's why I always think it's very hard to trade when the market is not clear with its direction, because let's say, for example, you wanted to take a TQQQ play here because you saw that it finally, the Nasdaq came back. It had a nice support, right? Some green candles, and it broke above this blue EMA line here. That's a good sign. Usually it's going to start running and go for a nice move to kind of the uptrending direction. But let's say you bought in as it started to break out and you started to add to it as it kind of started to continue rising, right? Anytime around here, you could have averaged up maybe thinking it was going to break kind of this resistance area and start going, only for it to flush down. You wouldn't have even needed to average up and you would still be down because the market just changed direction, right? It quickly had these aggressive moves down, and that would lead anyone to kind of want to sell out if they were in TQQQ, right? Thinking, oh no, the market is finally going to start falling again, right? It starts aggressively falling, only for it to actually follow with a big uptrend, right? And kind of walking through that with you, you guys can see from the way I'm describing it how it can be very difficult, right? To get a good hand on kind of where the direction is actually going, because just like that, right, it could have faked someone out and actually looked like it wanted to go. It even broke this resistance only for it to fall again. And where I struggle with is every time I'm getting into a play, I might be green for a good part of it, but I struggle when it's time to average up and find the actual break, right? This time it actually broke above for a nice move up, and that's kind of what I've been looking for all day. And unfortunately, I kept trying to get, or I basically kept getting faked out, trying to get into TQQQ, right? And as it would break above, I would add, only for it to flush down. I get stopped out. And I try getting in the other inverse ETF only to get stopped out again, right? So definitely a lot of choppiness, and I don't do well with it at all. Besides these three big moves, which were definitely pretty nice size moves, there was nothing really crazy today, and that's why, if you'll notice, I decided to stop trading at 9:15 in the morning. And that is kind of right around this area here. I got stopped out of SQQQ, right? I thought the market was going to keep falling right around here only for it to pick up pretty sharply. And I decided to just call it then because I saw this continuous pattern that the market was being very floppy, right? It didn't want to have these clear moves, and I thought there wasn't a pretty good chance I was going to catch one of these huge moves up or down. I actually started the day down kind of $100 and ended up riding a nice play. I think it was this one, or this one right here for SQQQ, all the way kind of down here, but I only made my money back. I didn't make any more on top, and yeah, I just ended up losing my money back again and really didn't want to dig myself in a big hole. I don't know if any of you guys can relate then. It can be very tempting to just want to keep trading and make your money back, but I knew it probably was not in my best interest because just given how many orders I already filled, right, I was taken and that were wrong, and on top of that, I just really didn't want to go through the mental process of just trying to recover my money again only to potentially lose it again, right? And one of these quick changes of direction. So that's basically it for the recap today. The market was choppy today, but it was kind of expected because that's coming off of two really bearish days. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Definitely excited for it, and yeah, I hope you guys learned something from today. Definitely try and manage your risk, and if direction's not clear, you don't always have to force it, right? Sometimes a smarter thing can be to just get up and walk away and call it then. So yeah, thank you guys so much again, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Take care.